Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make pita pockets filled with freshly fried falafel and hummus and a fresh salad made from red cabbage and pickled onions. So without wasting any time, I'm going to dive right in and show you how to make this dish. So to begin, I'm going to first start showing you how to make the hummus, which is a classic hummus made from soaked chickpeas, which I've soaked for about 8 hours and then boiled in the pressure cooker for about 30 minutes until it's really soft. The chickpeas, when you press it, it should mash very easily with your fingers, and that's how you know that the chickpeas is like perfectly cooked. Okay, so now I'm going to use my blue leaf mixer grinder. It's just perfect for this. I'm going to add the chickpeas into my medium-sized jar. Medium-sized jars are great for grinding things like chutneys, powders, and even hummus, for example, right? And it just makes a beautiful smooth paste. So to this, I'm going to add in sesame seeds. Typically you add tahini, but if tahini is not easily available, you can make your own tahini paste at home, which is by grinding the sesame along with a little bit of water and olive oil and then making a smooth paste, and that's your tahini. But I like adding sesame seeds directly into it because it's just easy. Okay, and I'm going to add in the garlic cloves. I've cooked the chickpeas with some salt, but I'm just going to add just a little more salt as well. Some cumin powder, a dash of chili powder if you want, okay, and then some olive oil. And then I'm going to blend all of this to make a nice smooth paste. Just going to add just a little bit water as well, and I'm going to blend it. Notice that the hummus is perfectly ground. It's nice and smooth. You can make it really smooth, or you can have a little bit of texture, and it's completely your choice. Now my next step is to flavor it with some herbs and a squeeze of lemon, and the hummus will be ready. So now I'm going to quickly chop up just a little bit of parsley. Parsley adds great flavors to the hummus, and it tastes really nice. It brings in the freshness and a little bit of the zing that hummus has. Okay, so I'm just going to this is good enough, and I'm going to leave this aside to make the falafels. I'm going to scoop out the hummus into my bowl. I'm just going to give it a little swirl so it gives a really good looking texture. Before that, we'll just add in the parsley. That's the lemon. We'll take a spoon, mix it all up. And finally, I'm going to add in a little bit of olive oil on the top and a sprinkle of cumin powder and a pinch of red chili powder, and that's it. The hummus is ready, and now I'm going to show you how to make the falafel. You can actually have the hummus just like that. I love just spooning hummus and eating it just like that, or along with a bread or a pita bread, or even, in fact, it's a great high protein snack. So now let me move this aside and show you how to make the crispy falafels. So the next step is falafel. Falafel is nothing but a chickpea pakoda, which is a Kabuli chana pakoda. Okay, here the Kabuli chana is not cooked. I have soaked the Kabuli chana for a good 8 hours, and I've drained out the water. And so when you actually bite into it, it's edible, and you can eat it. It's soft and it's not hard. So it's important to ensure that it's soaked well. Okay, and it's important to also ensure that you're not using cooked chickpeas for the falafel. So I'm going to actually put everything into my mixer grinder jar, and this is a medium-sized jar, perfect for grinding, small quantities of the falafel batter. So I'm going to first pulse this and then add all the remaining ingredients and mix them all together. Okay, so notice that the falafel mixture is coarsely pounded, and this is how I want it to be. And I'm going to take a spoon and just mix it a little bit. And I'm going to add the remaining ingredients now. I've not added any water. The moisture from the chickpeas itself is enough, and it's just perfect. So I'm going to add in the onions, the garlic, basin. It helps bind it, because when you're frying chickpeas and you're putting it in hot oil, it'll break apart. So I've added basin. It's also called as the chickpea flour, and some parsley leaves, and a pinch of Eno's fruit salt. You can also add baking powder or baking soda. The reason I like to add it is because it makes the falafel nice and soft from the inside and fluffy. Now I have to add the other spices, which is cumin powder, salt, and coriander powder, and then some red chili powder. That's it. So now I'm going to blend this into a coarse mixture, like a pakoda mixture, right? So it has to hold and you have to be able to make firm balls out of it. So while I'm pulsing it, I'll have to mix it a couple of times because we are not adding any water. So I'm just going to mix and then pulse again. So the falafel mixture looks perfect. I see there's a little bit of texture from the Kabuli chana, and that's how it should be because it adds to the crunch of the falafel. So now that this is done, I'm going to preheat my oil for deep frying, shape these into balls and then put it. And I'm going to give you some small tips when I'm doing that. So now to fry the falafels, I'm going to first grease my palms with a little bit of oil so it becomes easier to sort of make balls and then put it inside. And remember, the falafel batter is actually very tricky to do. So you have to actually do one falafel and then check if it splits in oil. If it splits in oil, add some gram flour, add some more flour into the falafel batter and then fry it again. Okay, so that's something that you need to remember because it is chickpea as such sort of splits apart. So I'm just going to put in one. So ensure that the oil is preheated. The falafel batter is perfect. It's not splitting apart. So I'm just going to take the remaining and then fry the remaining pieces in oil on medium heat. It's important to fry it on medium heat, and the falafel should not get brown very quickly because if it does, the insides will not get cooked. So I'm going to quickly add one at a time and then start frying the falafel batter. Now the falafels are just perfectly browned and crisp. I cooked it on low to medium heat. And it took about 4 to 5 minutes to actually crisp the falafel, and just cut one and check, and in between whether it's cooked or not. If it's not, fry for some more time. You essentially, what it means is if it's not cooked, then which means you need to lower the flame and then cook it for a longer period of time. So I'm just going to drain this out and then show you how to make the pita pockets, which actually makes a great wholesome dinner. So I'm going to quickly whip up a salad for the pita pockets. You can also use tabbouleh, but I'm going to make a fresh cabbage and onion salad with a little bit of pomegranate. So I have some red cabbage here, and I'm going to add it to a bowl, and I have some onions that are cut into thin strips. I'm going to add that in, and then I have some pomegranates here, and I'm just going to add the pomegranate as well. Okay, so I'm going to now just add lemon and a pinch of salt, and that's about it. And our quick salad is ready. I'm going to give it a mix. Just give it a mix, and this is done. Traditionally, what is also done is you actually make the tabbouleh, which is essentially broken wheat, which is called the bulgur wheat, which is cooked and then tossed in lots of lemon and lots of parsley, and then added into the pita pockets, and it tastes delicious. So I do have the recipe of that in my website, and I'll share it in the description below. Okay, so this is ready. So I have some fresh pita bread here with me. You can either make it at home or you can buy the store-bought bread. I'm going to cut it into half, and typically when you cut a pita bread, you will get a pocket in the center. You just have to, if you don't automatically have a pocket, you just make a slit slightly and then expand to make this pocket. Okay, so now that we have this pocket, I'm going to stuff it inside with hummus and falafel and the salad. So now first I'm going to layer it with hummus. Okay, so I'm just going to put there a generous quantity because I like the pita bread to be nice and creamy. Okay, and then I'm going to add in the salad. So if you've made tabbouleh, you can add it at this stage. And these crisp falafels, I'm going to crush them in between my palms and add it like that. It's just 2 falafels based on how big your pita pocket is. Just 2 is just perfect. And maybe some more salad by the side to add to that crunch, and then the pita pocket sandwich is ready. So I'm just going to go ahead and make the other sandwich. So now, isn't that simple? Making a delicious dinner with just hummus, some crispy falafels, and a fresh, refreshing salad. Do give this recipe a try and let me know how you liked it. If you make any twists and additions to the filling of making a pita pocket, I would love to know, and I'd like to try it out at home too. Until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.